Moon Letter, Astrological Podcast. Introduction to the Centaurs by Ben Belinsky. For centuries, the Earth was considered to be the centre of the universe, with everything, sun, moon, planets and stars, revolving around it. Then, in the 16th century, Polish astronomer Copernicus realized that the Earth wasn't the centre, that it, like the other planets, orbited the Sun. This was confirmed a century later by Italian astronomer Galileo, much to the displeasure of the Catholic Church, whose dogma insisted that the Earth was the unmovable centre. Galileo's telescope observations showed otherwise. The next major breakthrough was in the 18th century by German-British astronomer William Herschel, who used his telescope to discover the planet Uranus, orbiting out past Saturn. This was followed by the discovery of the so-called goddess asteroids orbiting in the asteroid belt between Mars and Jupiter, which were given names of various goddesses such as Ceres, Pallas, Juno, and Vesta, followed by the discovery of the major planet Neptune in 1846. Then after Pluto was discovered by American astronomer Clyde Tombaugh in 1930, technology had to develop further before any more members could be added to the solar system. This happened in 1977, with the first of the Centaurs to be discovered, Chiron. This was followed by the discovery of Pholus in 1992 and Nessus in 1993. Asbolus was the fourth centaur to be discovered in 1995, then in 1997 Chariklo. But unlike the planets, whose orbits are more or less circular, the orbits of the centaurs are elliptical, crossing the orbits of the gas giants, Jupiter and Saturn, and the ice giants, Uranus and Neptune. Not only that, while all the classical planets move in the same plane, the so-called plane of the ecliptic, the orbits of the centaurs are strongly inclined to this plane, moving above and below it in their journey round the Sun. This orbital inclination can vary from 7 degrees to as much as 25 degrees. This led them to be considered a different class of solar system bodies. There are various theories as to the origin of the centaurs. Some astronomers would have it that they originally come from the Kuiper belt, a donut-shaped zone of objects of various sizes that orbit the Sun out beyond Neptune. Others claim that given their steep angular relation to the ecliptic, that the centaurs are not in fact native to our solar system, but are rogue planets, interstellar bodies that were formed in other planetary systems and were pulled into orbit by our Sun's gravity. In either case, centaurs can be described as strangers or visitors that, from an astrological point of view, bring with them other dimensions of experience and understanding that we are just beginning to become aware of. The major planets in our solar system are named for the gods of the Greek and Roman pantheon. As gods, they were identified by their specific rulerships. Each of them had, if you like, a job description. Jupiter was the father of the gods, associated with the power of electric storms, and gave his name to the brightest planet in our sky. Venus was the goddess of love and fertility, appearing in her radiant beauty as a morning or evening star. The planet with its reddish colour became associated with Mars, the god of war. Mercury, as the fast-moving planet closest to the Sun, was named for the messenger of the gods, of trade and communications, while Saturn, the furthest planet visible with the naked eye from Earth and the slowest moving, became associated with old age and limitations. The centaurs, on the other hand, were not gods. In Greek mythology, they were a tribe or herd of 6-limbed creatures with a human upper body and the lower body of a horse. They lived in the forests of Mount Pelion in northern Greece. Some of them we just know as names, the rank and file of the herd. Others we know more about, their stories having come down to us through writers such as Ovid in his Metamorphoses. But rather than being associated with any particular job or rulership, What identifies them and gives us the key to their astrological influence are their stories. Speaking in general, the influence of the centaurs takes us out of the everyday into mythological narratives. The first centaur to be discovered was named after Chiron, the healer and mentor of many of the heroes of ancient Greece, such as Perseus, Theseus, Jason, Achilles. As half-brother of Zeus, Chiron was immortal, but when he was struck by one of Hercules' poisoned arrows, he was unable to die to escape the agony of the wound, and it is this narrative that gives Chiron his astrological character, the paradox of the healer in great pain but unable to heal himself. While Chiron takes us into his narrative of wounding and healing, Nessus takes us into his myth of violation and betrayal, and teaches us to deal with those who would violate or betray us. Pholus takes us into mass movements, cults, and the ecstasy of intoxication. With Asbolus, what we know is that he was a seer who could read omens and portents in the flights and calls of birds. He is therefore associated with augury and divination, while Chariklo, the wife of Chiron, leads us through unbearable situations to eventual transcendence. Similarly, with the other centaurs, those whose stories have come down to us, there is a crucial event in their life which gives us their character, and from that the key to their astrological influence. For Hylonome and her partner Cyllarus, it's their deaths that give meaning to their lives. For Okyrhoe, the daughter of Chiron and Chariklo, it's the misuse of her predictive powers that tell us who she is and give clues as to her astrological influence. To hear more about the coming series of books on the centaurs, join the Moonletter mailing list or follow the Moonletter WhatsApp channel.
And for more astrological and spiritual musings, check out moonletter.co.uk.